We've all seen the latest sensation people turning themselves into Ghibli characters with AI. On the surface, it may seem like just another innocent trend, but we've cracked open Pandora's box. My first Ghibli movie was My Neighbor Totoro. I found it very mundane back then. Not a lot happens in the story, but I guess that was intentional. Just like how real life is quite mundane. There is no big bad villain as in the Disney movies. The supernatural creatures are also quite friendly. And the movie has quite a positive message. With each passing day, AI generated images are becoming more and more human. The artifacts that once gave them away, the silly looking hands, ghastly distortions, uncanny faces, confusing drapery are slowly disappearing. And soon these images will be indistinguishable from those created by human hands. Now, I could go on about how these models were trained on copyrighted works without permission, which is technically very unethical, sure, but that ship has already sailed. Technology moves forward whether we like it or not. We can't unwind the sands of time. Well, I also paint sometimes, so I understand the effort it takes to create a piece of artwork. Every brushstroke, every decision, every second spent staring at a canvas trying to get the shading just right, it all adds up. And yes, artists should be compensated for their work that was used to train these models. But let's be real, AI is not going away. It's going to replace a lot of artists, unfortunately. Not all, but many. A ChatGPT subscription is just cheaper than hiring a full time illustrator for some big corporation. But it's not all doom and gloom. AI can be a tool. A comic artist could focus more on storytelling rather than painstakingly spending hours rendering backgrounds. AI could streamline the process, letting artists refine and elevate their work through better storytelling. Imagine an artist working on a graphic novel or a comic book. Instead of painstakingly sketching every single background detail or fleshing out every single strand of hair on a character, they could use a generative AI as a base to create something to work off. They tweak, they modify, and they add their own finishing touches. But the grunt work, that's handled by the AI. Instead of spending hours and maybe even days on just rendering, they can put more energy into character expressions, emotions, and storytelling. The things that actually make a story compelling. Of course, to truly use AI to its fullest, you need to know how to draw and paint. The general public may play around with AI generated images, but if people really want the human touch, they'll have to pay for it. And they will pay for it. Think about sculptures. You could 3D print a statue down to the millimeter accuracy, but is it the same as one carved from marble by human hands? It lacks the imperfections, the artistic choices, the emotion poured into every single strike of the chisel. That's what makes human made art priceless. And this isn't the first time technology has threatened the creative world. Photography once terrified painters. It could capture reality with a single click instantaneously. What was the point of spending hours painting a landscape? But did painting die? No, it evolved. The same thing happened with digital art. People said it was not real art at first, but now digital artists are just as respected as traditional painters. The medium changes, but art persists. Now, if you're an avid chess player, you might know Deep Blue. Remember Deep Blue? It defeated Garry Kasparov and changed chess forever. But did people stop playing chess? No, grandmasters studied it, learned from it, and chess is more alive than ever. AI did not kill chess, it elevated it. Similarly, generative AI won't kill art, it will let art thrive. People will create for the sake of creating and for the love of the craft. And there will always be a demand for human made things, handmade jewelry, watches, pottery, clothes. AI might be perfect, but perfection isn't what makes something valuable. The flaws, the effort, the years spent mastering a skill, that's what makes human art irreplaceable. Think about it, we've had AI generated songs for a while now, and yet people still go to concerts. People still pay to hear a human voice, to watch a real person play an instrument. Because it's not just about the sound, it's about the experience, the emotion, the connection with another human being. The same will be true for visual art as well. AI can replicate technique, but can it replicate intent? Can it replicate soul? A machine can mix colors, but can it feel? Can it know why a certain shade of blue evokes sadness, or why a chaotic brushstroke captures raw emotion? No, it can mimic, but it cannot understand. AI as it is now is a Chinese room. And let's not forget, art is not just about the final product, it's about the process. Creativity is a process, it's not the end result. The struggle, the frustration, the breakthroughs, that's why we admire artists, not just for what they create, but the journey to get there. AI removes that struggle, and in doing so, it removes part of what makes art meaningful. So, where does that leave us? Well, in a world where AI exists alongside humans, where artists embrace AI as a tool that can push their creativity further, where those who prefer traditional methods will still find an audience that values their work. Because at the end of the day, the human touch, the real, messy, imperfect, passionate touch is something AI could never replace. AI will reshape the creative world, but as long as people crave the human touch, art will never die. I wanted to make a slightly positive video, as every artist is mostly clamoring on about how AI art is bad. Well, it's not art, let's be real. It's AI image generation, AI images. I'm not gonna call it art. As if it's the Antichrist in the flesh. No, it's not, okay? AI image generation is not the Antichrist. As long as people are alive, someone will appreciate art made by human hands. With that, let Mr. Miyazaki have the last word.
毎朝この頃会わないけど身体障害の友人がいるんですよ。そのハイタッチするんだけど大変なんです。彼の筋肉がこわばってる手と僕の手でこうハイタッチするんです。でその彼のことを思い出してね、僕はこれ面白いと思って見ることできないですよ。これを作る人たちは痛みとかそういうものについてね、何も考えないでやってるでしょ。極めて不愉快ですよね。そんなに気持ち悪いものをやりたいなら勝手にやってればいいだけで、僕はこれを自分たちの仕事をつなげたいとは全然思いません。極めて何か生命に対する侮辱を感じます。